Hey, this is Graham and welcome back to another car review, everybody. Today we are driving a 2003 SN95 Mustang V6. This has the 3.8 liter V6 in it. Makes 190 horsepower from the factory. Probably not anymore, but that's what it's supposed to make. And while it's not a lot of power, I wouldn't call this car slow. I wouldn't call it quick, but it will go when you want it to go. It doesn't necessarily want to go, but if you force it to, it will. But this car in particular has very light modifications done to it, which I like because I've got some other reviews coming in the future. Not to spoil anything, but I'm glad I get to review kind of a lightly modified, lower trim level SN95 before I tackle some bigger things in the future. But this car has a cold air intake, it's got long tube headers, and it's got a dual exhaust conversion that goes all the way to the back of the car. And then of course you've got the 5-spoke wheels that look incredible with the machined lip, the bullet style wheels, and those wheels look good on any Mustang, but I think they particularly look good on the SN95s. And this car is owned by Kyle, who owns the S197 that I reviewed, the GT, and he was going for kind of a Mach 1 look with this car. You've got the hood scoop, the spoiler out back, of course the dual exhaust, and you've got like the Mach 1 lip and everything up front. And I think that this car looks very, very good. It's extremely clean, and to think that it's 15 years old and still looks as good as it does, it's pretty impressive. And it actually drives really nicely too, for being 15 years old. Everything's still pretty tight. The steering is nice and responsive. The ride is nice, and the interior doesn't rattle around like a lot of the old SN95s that I've ridden in before. So I'm actually really impressed with this car, and it does have 160,000 miles on it, which is, I mean, that's quite a few miles. That's definitely enough to get the rattles and all the issues to come out of this car. But it actually is pretty solid, rather surprisingly. So I'm very impressed with this car in particular. Something that probably attributes to the fact that this car is so like put together and so tight is that it's never been tracked, it's never been autocrossed, it's never been beaten on. It's been a daily driver. Kyle got this car when he was in high school, and has just driven it as a daily ever since. And it is an excellent car for that, I would say. I mean, it's very well, like I said, it's very tight. Everything's put together. It's fairly quiet inside for being an SN95, a 2003 Ford. Like I said, there's not really any rattles or anything like that. It's just it's a nice place to be, which is something that I don't think I've ever said about an SN95 before. Just because every other car that I've been in has just been every panel was rattly. Nothing felt like it was everything felt like it was going to fall off halfway through the drive. But I don't feel that with this car. This car is something about it. It's just different, it's special. And I think that says a lot about this car because, you know, everything in the interior is made of just hard, cheap feeling plastic, and the fact that it's so snug kind of blows me away. I can't really get past the fact that this car doesn't make loads more noise. So I'm impressed. I really am. I don't have a lot to say either because like there's nothing wrong with this car. Sure, it's not the best car in the world, but there's nothing wrong with it, and so I'm kind of lost for words, honestly. It's a good car. It's like the essence of a good car. It does everything it needs to do extremely well. It's dependable, and it's comfortable, quiet, nice to drive, and it looks pretty damn good. So I guess I'll leave it at that. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, please leave a like, subscribe, and take it easy.